There is divided support between environmental groups, miners and locals for the port expansions in the Great Barrier Reef. The expansions will be an important asset to the Australian mining sector, which has been embedded into Australian history since the gold rush in 1853. As a resource, it is an economic powerhouse and plays a significant role in employing individuals on a regional scale.
What are the costs of these port expansions? For these expansions to be successful, dredging needs to take place in the Great Barrier Reef. So how is this going to affect its biodiversity as well as its ecotourism industry?
In the past 10 years, Australia's mining sector has dramatically expanded to accommodate increasing coal consumption from Eastern Asia and Western Europe.
Australia has the largest known recoverable reserve of brown coal, and owing to this, it is the largest exporter of brown coal. There has been an increase in global commodity prices for mining resources, and in 2012 they accounted for 60% of Australia's total exports, outlined in this table from the Australian Bureau of Statistics. Employment through mining is also significant on a regional scale, but only accounts for 1.6% of Australia's total employment.
Queensland is Australia's second largest mining state, and in 2010 constituted 23.8% of mining activities. Additionally, coal, oil and gas comprised of 96% of the energy consumed during 2012 in Australia.
Demand for mining resource exports has placed pressure on companies to expand their ports. What about the Great Barrier Reef though? The Great Barrier Reef is the largest coral reef system in the world. It was declared a World Heritage Site in 1981 due to its ecological diversity and importance. The Great Barrier Reef is very important ecologically. It contains 23% of the world's known seagrasses and is the largest green turtle breeding ground in the world. It is also a popular ecotourism destination that Australia can and does make money from. The consequences of gambling this precious commodity are unthinkable.
In 2012, Australia made $5.7 billion from the Great Barrier Reef, and 90% of this was due to tourism. Furthermore, it employed 69,000 workers. Currently, there are 12 ports located along the coast of Queensland that are in close proximity to the reef, outlined in this map. It is expected that the proposed expansions at Gladstone will be the largest dredging operation in the history of Queensland.
Has the potential to increase the turbidity and sedimentation of waterways because it removes material from the seabed and disposes of it elsewhere. It can also affect currents, waves, and release harmful contaminants. The increased turbidity can suffocate, physically remove, or bury the coral and plant species.
I think port expansions are important for the Australian mining sector. Dredging is part of that and is regulated by various pieces of legislation. In this modern age, coastal development has helped countries globalise and expand their economies.
Rapid change and expansion has occurred in the Persian Gulf since the discovery of oil in the 1960s. Before that, people were nomadic and fishing and pearling were the main industries. However, mining has pushed the Gulf states onto a global scale. The immediate growth in population and economy fueled the transformation from traditional to Western.
The Gulf states combined have a population of about 39 million people, with 70% of its population living along the coastline. It is now one of the most urbanised areas in the world. Land reclamation projects are becoming very important in this area to accommodate population growth, industry, recreational activities and tourism.
Many countries have created leisure islands to support their growing tourism sector. In 2007, tourism contributed directly to 18% of Dubai's economy and 29% indirectly. However, to achieve this, much of the Gulf has been dredged, turning shallow marine areas into land.
In Dubai, much of the coastline was densely populated with coral reefs. However, due to shipping and the creation of islands, such as the Jeremiah Palm, there has been a severe loss of reefs, seagrasses, algae and oyster beds.
Bahrain has had the largest coastal alterations in the Gulf, and between 1963 and 2007, its land expanded out by 91 kilometres to accommodate its population, shown here in this table. In the 1980s, approximately 60% of the surrounding seafloor of Bahrain was covered with reefs. However, no living coral can be found there now. This graph illustrates how coral has declined and sand and bare rock has increased, completely altering the environment.
It is apparent that dredging and coastal development can benefit growing populations and economies. The Gulf states have completely transformed as a result of mining, which has led to the urbanization and development of a profitable tourist industry. However, in this process, it has destroyed many reefs and natural wonders. In Australia, the mining sector has contributed significantly to the economy. However, is it worth the risk of the Great Barrier Reef, which also benefits the Australian economy through tourism and sustains a myriad of organisms? It is a controversial topic and it is difficult to determine the exact outcome, but eventually the mining boom will end, will the reef be gone as well?